Vortex. As one of the two largest suspended looping coasters in the world, Vortex stands as a symbol of roller coaster strength, not just for Thailand, but for all SLC fans in the world. But is bigger better? Find out as I review Siam Amazing Park's Vortex. Vekoma first made a suspended looping coaster, or more commonly an SLC, in 1994. Since then, 42 SLCs have been built, spanning 6 different models. Vortex's model, the 787-meter extended, is the longest non-custom model. However, roller coaster enthusiasts decry SLCs as being very rough rides, especially compared to the more popular and smoother B&M Inverted Coasters. Since I generally rank B&M Inverts as one of my least favorite roller coasters, and with Vekoma's Boomerang and Blue Hawk being two of my least favorite coasters, I did not have high hopes for Vortex, or any SLCs in general. But, surprisingly, I really enjoyed most of the elements on this suspended looping coaster. Vortex starts off like every coaster with you loading in the station. What you will notice, and a likely reason people hate SLCs, is the over-the-shoulder restraints go very close to your head. For this reason, I rode defensively on all my rides by putting my head forwards ahead of these restraints. This seemed to reduce any negative headbanging feeling and allowed the ride to be thoroughly enjoyable. I was also able to walk on the front row on almost all of my rides, so I sat there for the superior view. The chain lift offers a view out of the park, though nothing too notable is next to Siam Amazing Park. Similar to most inverted coasters, the drop is a curved drop. But I found this to be by far the most enjoyable inverted drop that I've experienced, as I was really able to feel this drop. Then, Vortex goes through a rollover. Although I do enjoy traditional loops, this element is a fine inversion without any negative effects. Then, Vortex enters some turns, with my biggest complaint against B&M inverts being the lack of nice, peaceful turns. Maybe a reason I enjoy B&M's flying coaster, Superman Ultimate Flight, as it follows a path I'd love to see on an invert. I love that Vekoma adds these elements on their inverted coaster. After a quick turn, Vortex enters its best element in its wave turn. You hit this element at the perfect speed to be able to truly feel the sideways airtime. As much as enthusiasts love the sideways airtime on Rocky Mountain Constructions coasters, or RMCs, that airtime is normally taken too quickly to be truly enjoyed. Vortex delivers by creating great sideways airtime at the right speed. Then you travel through a Sidewinder. Although my favorite element on B&M's Montu, this element is more just a fine inversion here, though it is likely overshadowed by my enjoyment of the slower turnaround following this inversion. Then, Vortex enters some less than fun elements. The double inline twist here is just brutal, as the forces push you down into your seat. On Blue Hawk, sitting down, this element was slightly enjoyable. On a suspended coaster, it is just painful. Then you begin to relax, smoothly sailing around a turn as you head towards the brake run. However, the longest model of the SLC, also known as Vortex, has one last helix for you to go around. I love slow turns. Helixes are lame, neutral elements. How bad can it be? Brutal. Absolutely brutal. If this was taken slower, Vortex would easily be the best inverted coaster I've ridden and the best roller coaster in Thailand. But the forces here hurt my head so much that it knocks down the whole experience. I could still ride Vortex multiple times, but it would be beautiful if this element was a positive experience. Finally, don't discount the brake run on Vortex. Despite running only one train, you will normally be held on the brakes for about 20 seconds, which is a unique experience since there is literally nothing underneath you, except some backstage parts to roller coasters and other rides. Then, Vortex navigates one final turn, where I would try to see if I could kick a flower or piece of grass sticking up too far from the ground, before gliding over a beautiful small pond. Easily one of the best brake runs that I've ever experienced. So, how good is Vortex? Before counting in any of the negative aspects, Vortex is comparable to any big B&M looping coaster, like Kumba or Kraken. However, the intensity of the double inline twist and the terrible experience on the final helix knocked Vortex well down my list, settling Vortex instead around Poltergeist and Montu. Ultimately, Vortex, as the longest SLC, should be a fine roller coaster, but due to the high intensity at a few points, it is only an average medium-sized coaster. Thank you for watching, and as always, Kapkun Krab.